I'm trying 5 right, 5 down rather than 6 right, 5 down, because I found pushing the colour was a bit much last time. So even though the sun's getting pretty intense at the moment, yeah, we got the old roses there, colour check on the roses. But coming to the end of the season, basically, fellas, learnt a lot, but yeah. I think I've pushed it as far as I can go, fellas, at the moment, without any feedback really. At the moment, various interpretations of the formulation. I don't know. Yeah, you've got sort of chocolate brown to chocolate mint brown, and yeah, I know. The moss seems to grow. This one's like black, you know. It's going to get so hot. Don't think any seeds are going to germinate. But then again, the heat could kill the nasties. Oh, I've got one of these 65 litre crates from 1995. I got about 10 of them, I think, or was it 15? I can't remember now. And yeah, they were $35 each, but they held 65 litres. I've cut this one down, melted it down, sort of thing, and for reuse. Filled up the holes with some fresh blue tack, which you can do. I don't know if you can see that down there, in there. Probably too bright or something. But you can do that. I'm the master of the blue tack for filling up holes and securing them, making them watertight. You do it from both sides, basically, but it has to be dry when you do the blue tack. And you just put blue tack with a bit of a wick on it from one side, and try and do the same from the other side, and push it in. Making carefully that it doesn't stick to your fingers while you're doing it, because sometimes you can pull the blue tack off yourself when you pull your fingers away. Just avoid that. But yeah, they're all variations. This one's a bit chalky, this one. Yeah, I don't know if you can pull that one out. Yeah, the moss is okay, and a bit of the what's it name's Queen's Anne's lace or purse or whatever we call it. But I haven't seen any seed germination yet, whether we will or not. This one's a bit brown, almost brown black. But yeah. Oh, and they got this one here, got squashed against the side, but the false dandelions alive, so that's something you can see down the side. What I've learned is you can I don't know if you call it a what do you call it? A perched water table. I don't know, it's something a little bit different. As I found, you can put cotton wool in there, quite a lot of cotton wool, or 2 rolls of toilet paper, and you sack it down and you wet it down, and it'll like do half your thing, and then you put your formula on top of that sort of thing. And I don't know, it seems to be keeps it in a state which I would call a perched water table, but of course you can't theoretically call it a perched water table, because that's not how a perched water table is defined. The wetness is on the top and it drains under, you know, it's held up there by the perch, whereas it's almost like the perched table or water table is underneath and he's sitting it on top of that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look back into my old textbooks and things and online again. But yeah, I was going to do some popcorn. I was going to do some popcorn. So hang on, let me see. Oh yeah, Banksia Rose is in flower, but you know, put it on the spot colour ready for the fridge. But, yeah, I was going to do some popcorn, but I don't know now. Depends on what sort of results I get. So back to a normal area. Yeah, end of the season, so we learned a lot. I put a bone in there, and it's see if I can green up a bone. It seems to be working. You know, a bone from a rose sort of thing. Seems to eventually it should green the bone in there. So eventually, but yeah, we tried. We learned a lot this year that The iron will react with the any brown sort of wood. Doesn't seem to react with white wood, but I'll show you a bit more about that in a minute. Tried all sorts of experiments, all different types, false dandelion, plantain, papyrus, true dandelion. This one surprisingly is coming back, but then again the medium is acidic, so that could be the key to iron metabolism. To get it to work properly, you've got to have it acidic, so there's a lot involved in that. Like this one, you know, what sort of deficiency is, hang on, got to spot Cullen. What sort of deficiency do you think that is, fellas? I don't think it's the one that you think it would be, but anyway. So I did a lot of learning along the way, and got some dandelion seeds down there. See how they'll go, but not much is going to come out of the rest of the season, I think. One more film, I think, it'll probably be the devastation of from Scott Creek to Mount Bold. Just drive around there showing what it's just. I said we were locked down and we missed out on our KI trip by about 3 days, and yeah, so yeah, that's where I get my Queen's Anne's Lacewell purse from. Made it up originally from a bucket of sand which was sugar salted sort of thing, and once you get past that initial stage, they just keep growing up in there, and they keep growing, seeding and growing, so there's something to that. I played around with stuff, and yeah, dandelion stuff, nothing much, but anyway, yeah, I played around with a lot. Anyway, we learned a lot this season, but again, it's just, you know, like the iron doesn't sort of react with the white wood, so I use cotton wool and you know, sort of back to spot Cullen again, and I've got a papyrus growing in there, but yeah, did some more work with with chalk and stuff, and seemed to sort of get around it with some of these plants, the plantains and stuff. But they do this sort of thing where they almost terminate. Yeah, still haven't quite worked out what's going on with these ones, but yeah, it's something to do with the iron metabolism, or just got to crack it what it is, or what we think is iron metabolism. So problems with that, you know. You'd think it would be manganese, wouldn't you? The way it looks, it's sort of giving them the manganese deficiency look, though I can't believe that it could be manganese deficiency. Yeah. Oh yeah, growing sort of thing. They're certainly growing, but you know, as you can probably see there, but well, there should be one behind here somewhere. Where is it? Oh yes, it is there. Yeah. Oh well. This monster, look at that. I know. So it certainly works if you want if you're growing grasses and stuff like that. It'd certainly be one. You certainly be successful with nice coloured stems and stuff, you know, pink stems and the. But I've got the papyrus in there, sort of thing. Oh well, we tried. This one was interesting, with the floor foam that keep sort of wet and it gets rained on, and if it dries out a bit with the sun, with these yeah. So they sort of try to self-terminate with the flower. And then if you can keep them alive a little bit longer, quite a bit longer, about a month or so, it will try and put out these leaves and start to, you know, not die anymore. But yeah, I've got a, what's this one, the Soncus? Soncus can really cope with this sort of soil. Soncus can cope with quite a lot. It's quite a versatile weed. But, yeah, so... dandelion, it's a true dandelion, yeah, sort of. And then of course we've got the old fellow in the background there. We learned a lot, but it's struggling, as you can see. And then we get to ones here. Now, Joel said, or Joey said that if you let an unwell-drained Dioneer flower, it will surely die. I think he's yeah, I think he's on the money there. But when it first came out, it looked like some of those J. Pippin photographs of plants in the wild had very similar, if not identical, the same look. So that was very interesting. But yeah, I've had a bit of, I don't know, was it thrip or something on these? But and I accidentally knocked this one over, which buggered it a bit. But what was interesting, when I knocked it over, there was no bad smell in it whatsoever. So that was interesting. So whitewood, when flooded, probably won't smell if you keep it flooded. So that was an interesting discovery, because when I accidentally knocked it over, and just as I went to grab it, then it fell out. Yeah, it was almost, I could have just put it back up on the stone, it would have been fine, but just 1 or 2 seconds longer than, I couldn't get to it fast enough, and bang, the top third just fell out. But then again, I learned a lot, because I looked down in there and it looked quite fresh in there, and I sniffed it and it didn't smell bad at all. So the poor growth is not the fact that it's flooded and there's no bad organisms in there, as far as I can smell anyway. So anyway, it may change, when we get to the really, really hot weather that's going to start in the future. As I said, we've got the I'll go to no, this is the Robin Gordon. This is Grevillea Robin Gordon, one of our street trees and things. Absolutely lovely. It's just slightly getting beyond its prime at the moment, and yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous tree. The street trees like this, they bloom usually in October sometime, and then after this you'll get your the Queensland street tree, the one that's from Africa with the purple flowers. That flowers into November, into December sort of thing. And then you'll have the brachiochiton, and then you'll have some of your eucalypts will come into flower, and basically as we go through the season. So it's pretty well on the money sort of thing. But when we get the really hot days basically once the brachiochiton is flowering just before Christmas sort of thing, it denudes itself of all its leaves and then flowers like crazy with some really almost fluorescent colours. Some of them you can get bright reds, bright oranges, and almost pinky red, depending on which one you've got sort of thing, and very showy at that time of year around Christmas, just when it's starting to get really hot sort of thing around Christmas time. And of course then we'll go through there from Christmas into late April, early May, when we start to go into the new wet sort of thing. And then it's and you're almost into the season before it starts. So it's almost like that statistical problem, You don't know when you're going to be in the wet, but you know by the third week of May, the 21st basically, the third, 3 7s of 21 basically, you'll be in the wet. But you don't know when it's going to arrive, but the third week, 21st basically, you'll be in the wet, And as I said, you're almost in it before you realise it, and you're almost scrambling to catch up, because you've got this schizophrenic personality of being trapped in the house for 7 months almost. With the air conditioner on for about 4 months non-stop. And we tried it, we learned a lot. They don't die in winter if you keep them flooded. They don't grow too well when they come out of dormancy, but at least they're not dying, and the soil is quite fresh and you smell it, so that's not the problem. Learning something, as I said, the whitewood doesn't react with iron the way the brown wood does, so there's a major difference there. Whether we'll explore that later, I don't know. But as I said, I've pushed it as far as I can push it at the moment until I get some major result coming back. I don't know where to go from there, fellas, but we'll see. So we'll see. I tried. I did a lot of work. As again, I do a lot of work each season, but slowly chipping away. banging away, chipping away at the coalface. We're slowly probably going to tease out the story, and yeah. Well, it's not nitrogen, is it? Because that's definitely a major nitrogen source if they could have access to it. I mean, the papayas is growing quite well in it. Slow growing, but it does grow well. Yeah, so anyway, I thought I'd just keep you informed, keep you up to date. It would be nice. Keep them growing through the summer like that. Oh, I didn't show you my big one. Hang on, let's go back to where we were. Hang on. Put the camera up here in the sun. Here we go. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm not asking for the moon. I just want a fly trap to grow to that sort of size. You know, that's the false dandelions, I think. But you know, in a 10-litre bucket sort of thing. That's all I really want. Or put it in the sun a bit. That's all I really want. A fly trap of that size. Not asking for the moon. Just asking it to grow to the same sort of size as the weeds that grow with CPs in our country, so they, you know, they sort of peter out as well, the weeds. But which is why I'm using the weeds, you see, the ones that associate. You know, you got things like the dandelion, which is a bit like the glid. It grows where it grows, year in, year out. We had some deadly nightshade, 2 to 3 bushes over there before I left for WA. Fruited their hearts out. Came back from WA, no berries on the bushes whatsoever, and none of our magpies were dead. So don't know where the berries went, and haven't seen a single deadly nightshade there since 2018 when we came back. So it's 2019, nothing came up. 2020, nothing came out. 2021, nothing came up. So when are we going to get some more deadly nightshades growing in the area from all those hundreds of berries and the thousands of seeds from all those berries? I mean, did they just go through the birds' guts and they've been dropped all around the neighbourhood? Again, it's a bit like the dandelion, a bit like the glid. They grow where they grow, year in, year out, whereas some of them seem to have like a time delay on them or something, or, you know, have some sort of dispersal mechanism where they won't actually grow. You know, it's almost as amazing as Drossel wittigrai, you know, flowers en masse before a major bushfire, either the following season or coming in a couple of seasons thereafter. Flowers on masse. This is the Aboriginal story which I talked about in one of the early clips this year, one of our little journeys out to one of the conservation parks. You can look it up on my channel. It's this year's out in the bush thing. As I said, I'm probably going to close this year off with a devastating video of what happened in early January this year. We didn't know about it really, how bad it was, because we couldn't get out there because we got locked down for a second time and missed going to KI, missed going to see Drossel smegii in the wild sort of thing, along the Flinders Chase National Park border sort of thing, the sort of meteorite crater fall off sort of area of the park sort of thing. I have put it on a map there, fellas. It's been out there for 20 years, I think. Yeah, 20 years, so, you know. Oh, yeah, the other thing is Drossel Mincara seems to be starting to impress. So there you go. I discovered it in my local area in 2012. It took a few years to realise why I couldn't photograph it, because it was so effing small. You know, it's half the size of Occidentalis, which is half the size of Pygmea. So, and as Joey has shown, the flower stalks are exceedingly shorter than a normal pygmy for a start. You know, the flowers are different, and if you've got some really high power magnification, you might be able to actually look at the snap balls on the end, on the ends of the ribbon tentacles, and they may be snappers. You don't know. I don't know. I mean, as I said, if something's that small, it might be able to move faster than a longer, thicker tentacles on them. You know what I mean? Small things can move. But I still say I've seen some of the glids reset themselves more than once, you know, wondering whether the glid actually, the glid ribbon tentacle actually